ways to turn an idea into a business.
Nice.
How to set a price when you get started in that business.
Nice.
Guilty pleasures.
Skip.
No, like guilty pleasure. I may or may not like watching The Bachelor now because of my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. We'll skip that.
Save that one for True Vine. We'll do that at the end of the True Vine one. We'll do that'll be the last question.
Did you get that? That was a good one.
That was a good laugh.
I have a really loud laugh.
That's his normal laugh.
How to take back control of your life.
Nice. These are all profound.
I Googled.
Wow.
And then I'm like,
and here I was getting all this like high hope that you had just turned a corner and had all this philosophical stuff in your brain.
I am. It gave me stuff, and some of the stuff I came up on my own.
I went to Google and it really gave me some inspiration.
How to handle criticism. Did we talk about the hate stuff last week?
We that was a few weeks back. We talked about the haters, but
we haven't. No, but not the new haters.
There haven't been any new ones,
so we can talk about the shirts.
Yeah, but save that one. I like the first two. I think the first two work together, and that's 30 minutes worth of content right there.
Okay. All right. This is the Everything That I Know podcast. I'm your host, Jamey Whitley, here with a man who is 1 year older than he was last week, Senior Verde.
You had to bring that up?
Yes, I did. Hey, at least that you got one more year to live compared to my text message the other day.
That is true.
Because I called you 48.
48
I was like,
47.
what do you want your life to be like when you're 48 next year? We're going to make stuff happen. You're like, I'll be turning 48 next year. I'm not 48 now. And I was like, that's right, because I have a 5-year plan, and next year we're going to really blow things up.
That's it. I like it.
Next year of 47 is just to mold me into a man.
That's it. We're going to mold you.
Be a man. You. Like Mulan. Do you guys ever? They're making a live action Mulan.
They are. I saw that. They're doing that with everything.
Okay, so I don't know.
Soon there'll be a Little Mermaid live, all shot under the water. Or have they already done that?
No, they've already. It's post production. Actually, Hunter, can you fact check me on this, because I'm really curious if this is true.
They are doing the Mulan.
No, they are. But this is what I heard. I heard this is actually. You have a 40-year plan, right?
Right.
I have actually heard that. I don't know if this is true or not. It's when we have HH, but I heard that the remaking of the animated stuff is actually part of Walt Disney's original plan.
Wow.
So it's like, if that's
That'd
true,
be longer than a 40-year plan.
That's like after his like posthumous.
Yes, life.
Yeah. I'm not even going to attempt that word.
Yes,
that's the new endeavor. And so basically, after he's died, his business plan and his dream is still being carried out to this day.
Yeah.
Could also be fact checked. Did you know at one time they almost built another Disney theme park in Lindell because it supposedly is halfway between Disney World and Disneyland?
I did not know Lindell, but I had heard that at one time there was a plan for a second like that, or a third location. Disneyland's fairly small compared to Disney. I mean, Disney World's fairly small. Or is it backwards? Disneyland's
smaller than Disney World.
Yeah, because that's California. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I heard that there was one for the Central, but never knew that it might have been Lindell. That would have been quite interesting.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
You talk about a shift in the paradigm of a region to have something like that.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Grounded smack dab in the middle of 1,000 acres or 1,500 acres or something crazy like that. That would have been pretty amazing.
Yeah. And have you ever been to Disney World?
I've not. Neither one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now all your kids are old enough now. They would all really
Every time
like
we
it.
thought about going, we always had another little one in diapers and didn't want to do it.
See, that's one thing I'm like, because I've been many times. My dad was a band director, and he always he had a rough childhood. So whenever he became a band director, he realized that some of his students, like, they may have never even traveled outside of White House, which is a little small town outside of Tyler, where we are. Yeah. And then he was like, there's some kids that have never even been out of Texas.
Yeah.
So he was like, he wanted to give them an opportunity to go to Walt Disney World at least once, and then Washington, D.C. once while they were in band. So I had the privilege of going. My family trips were band trips.
Right.
And so Disney, I think, played a very big role in me becoming a very imaginative and creative person and a dreamer.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
because you were there often enough that it was just like awe-inspiring so frequently that it, did something to you and helped shape who you are.
And I think it's one of those things where it's like someone could have a dream and a vision to entertain people so that they can escape whatever they're going through in life. And I think that's where that all started.
That's very cool. You said one thing about that sparked another thought of mine that happened in some quiet moments several months ago. You said that some children never get to experience a vacation, so that was important to your dad to kind of help foster that. There's a thought that I had a few months ago, and it was probably sparked by either something I read or a post or something. I don't remember. But I went deep into the thought process of there are human beings who grow up, their entire lives, some their entire lives to the grave, and may never have ever experienced winning.
Oh.
Never won a card game, never won a basketball game, never won a lottery, never won a prize at school, just either didn't participate or didn't perform, and literally never experienced what it was like to win. Right? Mm-hmm. That's got to be frequent. I mean, that's got to be an occurrence that happens regularly, I would imagine, especially when you think about the span of time, or modern time anyway, when there's measurable successes and things like that, and when people have won. So I'm talking like 1800s forward probably, where there's a little bit more of a communication going on. So I thought about that, and I was like, how sad, that some people go through their whole life, or at least a large segment of their life, and never win anything, or never have won, or never will win anything. And that just kind of did something to me to think, I've been so fortunate. I've won at many different things throughout my life. I have lost a ton too, probably 1,000x of what I've won. But the point is that I know what it feels like.
Right.
And so, man, I want every human being to feel that. So then it was kind of like a little personal mission. So how do you impact society with that little thing over here on the side that says, if nothing else, I want everybody that comes in communication with me to win.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about giving away T-shirts and stuff like that. I'm talking about win something that's more impactful, but at the same time, just have that air of winning mentality and have experienced that emotional high. It's a big deal.
Well, and I think that's one thing right now, and I think a lot of times we, and I'll come back to this, but like you had a tweet just the other day. It said, failure is the foundation of humility. And I think I see that through the season of my life right now. Like I have a paycheck this week and next week, and then the severance is gone. However,
the waileth drieth uppeth.
However, here's a win. Mm-hmm. I now have $2,000 saved up in my bank account.
Nice.
Building that emergency fund so that next month,
great.
I'm trying to prepare for that. And
Yeah.
I'm just doing some minimums on my credit card right now so I can get some money to live on.
Yeah.
Which isn't much, but I have to do that right now. But to me, that's a win.
Heck
and
yeah.
when I looked at my bank account yesterday and I was like, oh, and just full disclosure, and I don't mind sharing this because I'm not a baller. I just like to look like one.
You still want a comma in your bank account?
Yeah. Well, no, it was
Remember
cool.
that conversation?
I saw 2 commas in my bank account. One was in checking, one was in savings.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah. And then I moved some from checking to savings, and I only got 1 comma. But anyway, that was a win for me.
Yeah.
And I think some people I think so many people think that a win for them is, okay, by the end of the year, I'm going to be able to buy this Lexus.
Yeah.
No, you got to be realistic about it too. Some people, a win is just showing up.
Yeah.
That you're breathing that day.
Right.
That you made it through the last day. And that's stuff that I know I've had to go through with my own failures by giving myself a lot of self-doubt. And really, the only person that I'm losing to is myself.
Yeah. A lot of times that's the case.
So that's one of my biggest realizations through this season of life that I've had is it's not me versus other people. It's really me versus myself.
Yeah.
And until you can win against yourself, how do you expect to win against other people? It's like that Rocky Balboa quote. It's like, you see this guy in the mirror, you know, the world will hit you. I'll come back to that.
You come back to Rocky Balboa.
Quote. Yes, it's a good quote. When you're on a rant,
we'll jam that up in the middle. Well, you mentioned that tweet about the failure is the foundation of humility. For me, I believe that because of the failures in my life, the things that I've done wrong, the challenges that I've come up against and failed to accomplish or failed to follow through on and things like that. Those experiences invoke humility because you experience it and you don't have a choice but to either wither up and die or go away or pull yourself up by the bootstraps, admit to yourself and to others that you screwed up, that you failed, which is a humble position to hold and to be in. And then you build on that. The foundation means you're building on it. So you made a screw up, you failed, you owned it, you were humble, you worked through it, and then you built on those experiences to never do that again. Right?
Right.
So that's truly, for me, the foundation of everything. You just continually fail and get better and fail and get better and fail and get better. But with each failure comes another level of humility. You know,
it's like that level, that foundation, you end up finding the rock at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then
you think about if you have a public persona or a public presence, let's take a superstar athlete or someone in public service, if you continually build up yourself on arrogance, not confidence, two totally different things, but arrogance and the mentality that you can do anything and at the cost to everyone, then you're going to lose. And when you have a fall, you're going to have to eat a ton of humble pie, and you're probably not going to come back from that, right? Seen that happen to politicians continually. Happens to a lot of athletes and people that have public lives. But the ones that really come forward really early, like beat the press to the outcome of the story and say, hey, I'm here to tell you something today and I screwed up, those people usually have a tendency to make it back. Maybe not to their former status, but make it back and or still live a fulfilled, whole life because they owned it. They were humble enough to admit it. And they're building on that, and they built their way back up to a semblance of what they were before, right? So there's tons of circumstances. I mean, tons of examples of that scenario as well. But for me, again, it's the failures, owning the failures, admitting the failures, which, for me, let me give you an example. An example would be doing a real estate deal, some sort of transaction where I went in with high hopes, high aspirations, and acumen to do what I said I would deliver on, yet it failed. And I had to go into whomever I was either partnered with, performing for, borrowed the money from, fill in the blank, and say, it didn't work. I answered the phone when they call. I answered the door when they knock. Didn't hide, didn't run. Owned it humbly and moved on, right? So for me, going through those exercises was another layer of that foundation being built to where not only do I have more confidence because I'm not going to make those same mistakes again, but the other people around me that I'm dealing with regularly have confidence in me as well because I came to them and I was humble and I said what I said and we moved forward, right? But that fear of being transparent and being known stops a lot of people from experiencing that, so they never try, so they never really fail. They just kind of stay in the same pattern all the time.
Right. And a lot of times it's going to be like, it's like, woe is me. Because I'm getting all this rejection from everyone. Yeah. And like to quote Rocky Balboa, the great theologian.
Here we go.
In the movie Creed.
Oh,
he said
the latter one, the Creed.
Yeah,
the last
one
that came out.
Well, actually, the one before the last one.
Yeah, because there's been Creed, Creed something. 2, and then, got it.
So you act like it's you against the world, but it's really you against you. And so I think a lot of times, and Creed's a good example of that because you have this guy who just thought the world was handed to him on a spoon. And really then he, felt like because he was the son of the world champ Apollo Creed that he could just come in there but no. And he thought it was going to be handed to him. He had to earn that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, you may have a legacy, but still you have to get in the game and play.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree.
So basically, like if you're at bottom and you're not winning, you don't think you're winning. Like how do you take back control of your life? Like what's kind of like the first things you need to do?
You need to consume information that revolves around winning, encouragement, positive thinking. Surround yourself with people that do the same. Completely transform your mindset and your physical state. So, unfortunately, if you're in a work setting and you're around a bunch of negative individuals, and you leave work and you go home and you're around a bunch of negative individuals, or you go out and you're around a bunch of negative individuals, you just got to transplant yourself.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Change your lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you have to. You can absorb thousands of positive comments right now on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, thousands, millions probably. Just go check them out, right? But if they don't resonate and they don't stick, because you take it in and you get that little fleeting moment of joy and inspiration, and then you turn around and you walk into a room full of, dissension and negativism and people that aren't happy and things like that, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's a vapor, right?
Right.
But if you can surround yourself in every setting with positive vibes, you can call it, or continual information stream that is positive and encouraging in nature from people, like myself, or other platforms that you can get on and find that information. But I'm a reader, so I'm books. I'm going to go book every time. I'm going to sit down quietly with a cup of coffee or a drink or, something like that, and just absorb what's in that book. And it's usually going to be informational, nonfiction stuff. And it's going to give me a little bit of information to build off of. But at the same time, I'm going to bring people on my team that are wired like me, that are going to be positive, they're going to be encouraging. And I'm going to surround myself with people like that. And I'm going to cut away everything that's not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for like people who are watching this, if they're just trying to get started, they've got an empty bookshelf. Like, what is the one book that you think everybody needs to read in order to take back control of their life?
Holy crap.
For motivation.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go completely non-religious here. Our audience is broad, and it's a very broad question. There are a ton of books out there, right? But I think if I was going to go somewhere where I could first and foremost, before a book, because it's faster, I'm going to go Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, because it's instant. I don't have to get on Amazon and look for a book. I don't have to read anything. It's just I can look at some pictures and see some quotes on graphic images, and I'm just do that for. Like if you're in the dumps, do that right now. Right now, do that. But if you're
so you just follow people that you want your life to be like. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm not saying be like, because I think there's a lot of false interpretations there, a lot of false feelings you can get because you're looking at that person and say, I want to be just like them, but you don't have a hell's chance of being just like them. I think you need to be realistic. And so I'm saying just go after the positive content. So if you went to Instagram right now and typed in #positive-vibes and read the top 20 posts, they're all positive.
Yeah.
They're going to make you feel good for a minute. They're going to make you think a little bit deeper just for a second, right?
Yeah.
If you lack a mentor in your life and you want to go deeper than Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that, there's a book that's about that thick. It's called Tribe of Mentors by Timothy Ferriss. Okay. And it is a compilation based on topic of nothing but good advice, wisdom, insight, encouragement, get up off your ass and do something, bootstrap kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Tribe of Mentors. It's an excellent book.
And is it based on his mentorships that he's had?
Basically all the podcasts.
Oh, that's really cool.
And all the people that he's come in contact with in his extraordinary existence. He's younger than I am, and he's done so many things, multitudes of things, and been in so many situations and thrown caution to the wind so many times. And literally, at his age, he's lived a full life. Like what I would say you could write a Hemingway novel around, in my opinion,
Yeah.
He may think that's super flattering, but that's how I kind of view him. He's larger than life, but he's down to earth, cool guy, super educated, and just like I said, has thrown caution to the wind. someone who's tried and failed, someone who's won and lost. But that book in and of itself just has so, like you could say, okay, investing. Look up investing in the glossary. Go to 15 different little snippets on investing. Happy thoughts. Go to the glossary, look up happy thoughts, and just go from there. So it's informational, tactical, encouraging. I mean, it's a whole, because it's a compilation.
Right.
And it's some of the most brilliant minds and some of the most unknown minds out there. You know, I'm thinking like Gladwell's probably on there, and Ray Dalio's probably in there, and you know, just tons and tons of people. And those two may not be, but I'm just naming off names that I would imagine would be in there. It's actually been a couple of years since I picked that up.
Yeah.
And actually thumbed through it. So I may be reminded to do that before the end of the weekend, you know. But that's a really great place to start because it's a vast array of topics and information compiled in one book that everybody can get something from.
Right.
You know, Tribe of Mentors. And we'll throw a link up here on it so everybody can jump in there and get that.
So I guess if I were to just sum all this up as some action steps people can take. One, if you feel like you're not winning, you need to recognize that you're feeling that way. You need to recognize that's your mindset. You need to surround yourself with more positive people in your life that are going to promote you, support you, and want to help you.
Right.
Not necessarily like say, hey, yeah, here's some money, but hey, here's opportunities. Go chase them. Go do it.
Yeah.
You know, we're your cheerleader. You can do this.
Let me jump in real quick and say two things. One, very important topic. You got to confess to yourself that you're in a bad spot. If you don't agree with yourself that you're in a bad spot and you're trying to move out of it, then you won't tell anybody else, right? Mm-hmm. The second thing you mentioned was, you know, surround yourself with positive people. That is one of the biggest hurdles because that's typically not your current crew.
Right.
Right? There's going to be a lot of blood and tears because you're going to be cutting some things away, and that's very difficult. Mm-hmm. That's a comfortable space, and it's a fearful space because you're going to have to cut people loose or refrain from engaging with people that you've been engaging with for a long time.
Yeah.
Now,
or
I would
put boundaries in.
Or set up boundaries, which are going to push them away, and they're going to wonder why. And now I will tell you this. One time in my life when I tried that exercise, and I'll let you get back to your summary there in a second. One time in my life when I tried that, and I was like, I just got to do this. I got to cut this out. I'm just not going to be able to hang out anymore. The other person, one of the other people that I had that conversation with was like, I'm so glad you brought this to me. I feel the exact same way. What can we do to get out of this? And I was like, that's awesome, you know?
Yeah.
Because I had no idea that other party was feeling that way and kind of experiencing the same because we weren't communicating at that level. This is very deep level, not superficial, right? So that was super encouraging because then I had a partner that could like, hey, let's do this together. Hey, what are you reading? Well, I'm reading this. Well, I ran into this person at the coffee shop. And so that was very cool. So sometimes it's not just an avoidance.
Right.
You really need to have conversations with people and go, look, I'm in a bad spot. I got to get positive. Every time we hang out, I feel like shit. Oh, you know what? Me too. Maybe that's reciprocated. Or maybe they'll take offense and they'll bounce. I don't know. You got to be brave enough to handle it. Right.
And I think that's one thing too. You have to look at yourself and go, okay, how is our dynamic? Are we being positive with each other? Are we being negative? Because if we're both being negative, then we're competing against each other. We're not working toward a common goal so we can both win. And
you gotta have one other element there that'll take you by surprise if you're not ready for it.
I'm waiting.
You waiting?
Yeah,
This is big.
I don't want to be surprised.
This is big, and it's going to be super eye-opening for some people. Some people that are feeling the way we've been describing and want to jump into the positive and move forward and get encouraged and stuff like that. Sometimes the dynamic that they're wanting to run from, they are the dynamic. Follow me? Okay. So you might discover that you're that person for your crew, and then you've got some serious reckoning to do.
Yeah.
Got it? Mm-hmm. That's a tough spot. But you're not going to know that until you pursue the cleaning house of your own world and the dialing in of positivity and moving forward and being encouraged and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you're exposed. Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, one of the
yeah, you thought you were in a bad spot before you started. Now, that's just a warning, fair warning. This may be you, but if it is, it's even more important that you pursue what you're trying to pursue, because now you've got to not only get out of that space, you got to get out of this space and rewire everything. So anyway,
I had a a light bulb moment for improv, and when I was doing a comedy workshop. And I think this is great advice for leaders who like kind of where you're going.
Right.
And what was told to me was, if you're not having fun, you're the asshole.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty good. I like that.
So, I mean, that's just clear cut and simple. Like, if you're not having fun, if your team's not having fun, you're not having fun. God. It starts with you.
How many times have I been the asshole? Oh, that's eye-opening, bud. I like that. Mind if I tweet that later?
Yeah, actually, did I just get my first everything that I
might
know?
Have just you just dropped a little knowledge. Well, you know what? I think here's what's cool about that. You did just drop something that's super important. You invoked a memory from your past of something that was profound to you. And so in the air of the moment of this exchange that we're having here, you were encouraged. Your mind has opened up, your heart has opened up, and you were able to free flow with some information that may have impacted somebody.
Right.
If we continually shut that down and we never have these kind of exchanges with other human beings, all that stuff goes away forever and nobody ever hears or sees it.
Yeah.
And that's tragic.
Right.
So that's what's cool. Like, you just boom and just kind of opened up and got all fancy and cool for a second there. And not that it's not cool all the time, but I mean, like, I experienced that just now. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
and that was well said, because I have probably been that person a number of times.
Yeah. So next time that you're on a trip, vacation,
it's going family on me.
Me and Haas I'll throw some knowledge down on Haas.
That'd be great. Well, I thought you were picking on me, because it's often been said around my home that when we go do things, the only person that's not having fun is me.
Oh, so I've impacted your life today.
You might have just impacted me, yeah. So my kids will get a kick out of that 20 years from now when they listen to this podcast again.
Yeah, because I cussed.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah. No, because we're like, that was Dad, like every time we went somewhere, you know. But no,
yeah.
I'm a happy guy, but there's just the stressors of having 4 little ones running around.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may squelch the moment and I'm the asshole, so, you know.
So I guess that's the time, too, where you got to know it's time to work and time to play.
That is true. Yeah.
So I'm going to stop dropping knowledge.
I don't have a problem playing. I just have a stress level sometimes when I get around my own 4 children. One time I'm just going to record a little audio.
Yeah.
Just a little audio of one of my mornings or one of my evenings. And I'm just going to let the whole world hear 15 seconds of what it sounds like to be in that house at that moment. You know. So anyway, but there's those super stressful times, and then there's those really sweet, endearing times as well. And that's what balances it all out. Right? Yeah. But I was just relating to what you said. So
yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad you could taste that little, take that little nugget of knowledge that I was able to give you today for all the knowledge that you've given me in return.
I appreciate that.
That's
I do.
what I do.
I will tuck that one away.
And I've got a gem for you.
Okay. Are we wrapping up? We're getting close?
Yeah, we're about there. You know, we always try to tie up with music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you were doing when you celebrated your 5th birthday? Do you know what happened around your 5th birthday?
Well, I know Elvis died.
Yes.
2 days after my birthday.
Of your 5th birthday.
Today. Yeah.
So today,
42 years ago.
Little shout out to Elvis and your 5th birthday.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Wow. I was really feeling positive till you said that.
Well,
I'm joking. You know what's funny is I was 5 years old, but I remember the newspaper laying on the table in the living room with the picture, you know, of the king. The king is dead or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember that for John Wayne. And I really believe, honestly, my mother has both of those newspapers folded up and tucked away somewhere. Literally.
We need to get those in a frame in here.
And that'd be, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hers. I can't take them. But
right.
The point of it is, I do remember that. So that's a neat little musical tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's so crazy to imagine how someone could make such a big I can't talk today. Blah. So amazing.
There's our intro.
So amazing that one person can make such a big impact and create 2 genres of music.
Yeah.
Country and rock and roll.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Right.
He was following in the footsteps of a lot of other people, though, that were in the shadows.
That's true.
Doing his thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that, you know, when they talk about Elvis and Hendrix and all the old greats and the Stones and the Beatles, I mean,
Belushi.
it was crazy. You know what's an interesting thing, though? I don't want to draw a little interesting comparison there. You got Elvis, right? And he's pre-Beatles. And then the Beatles come on the scene, and they're, you know, they are skilled musicians, trained musicians. But then the way they write and the way they cultivate and put together and all that kind of stuff, it just literally never been heard. So you had Elvis coming on the scene with all his shake and bake and all his stuff and all the songs that he had, which were gospel and R&B kind of in a mix. But the Beatles just transformed music. It was a very interesting time, and I don't think my generation especially gives them enough credit for everything that's come out of that.
Well,
I mean,
think
there's not a rock chord progression right now that they probably didn't create. You know, and then it's prolific. It's everywhere.
Well,
it's
and I think
everything.
to tag on to that, my dad was a major Beach Boys fan. So I actually grew up more on the Beach Boys side than the Beatles. But when you look at that and you look at what competition does for an industry, you had Pet Sounds and Sgt. Pepper competing with each other to outdo each other. Yeah. So you have those different chord progressions and everything, while on the other side you had some of the best harmonic music we ever had.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And all that was something that came after Elvis, you know.
There's a little article. My guitar instructor brought it to my attention, and it was something about these albums all came out in this particular year. And I think it was 1976 or 78. I can't remember which one. It was an even number. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then he started to read this litany of albums that came out. And it was like everything classic rock. And it was literally 70 or 80 albums that were delivered to the marketplace, to the world, in that 1 year. And it's just like this huge catalog of music. And you just think right now, if we get one or two really profound albums a year come out by any artist that really takes the world by storm, it's saying something. In this particular year, there was almost 80 in 1 year.
I'm going to throw you.
It was nuts. When I read the list, it was nuts. So it was a very interesting time for music.
So 1979.
Okay.
Something happened that has never been done before and has yet to be done. One entertainer had the =1 movie, had the =1 TV show, and had the #1 album. John Belushi.
Yeah, that's hilarious. He had a TV show?
Saturday Night Live was #1.
Oh, he was on Saturday Night Live. I was like, did he have a show? But he was on Saturday Night Live,
Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
And then Animal House was the movie.
Crazy.
Yeah. Man, I'm just
You're
my
full of
second
knowledge.
cup of coffee. I need to drink more.
I'm telling you. I finally had to get a cup about halfway through this one. Well, that was kind of heavy, but I think it was pretty interesting and good. You know, sometimes it's not all fun and giggles. Life's serious. Goals and aspirations and motivation and all that stuff is serious business. And sometimes the mood is jovial and fun and super energetic. And it was, I've been energized myself. I'm not saying that the topic's not, or I'm not personally, but sometimes they're heavy and they're deeper and they're thought provoking. But I still think that we're bringing value to people, and if they'll just listen and follow along and jump in.
And just start making small wins every day.
Every day.
Like, put on your shoes, you know, walk out the door, get in your car. And, you know, it's like if you want to go to the gym, put on your shoes, sit in your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
First step.
Now, drive to the gym. You still don't want to go in, sit in the parking lot.
Sit in the parking lot for a little while.
Walk in, check in with your key tag, get a little reward points, go back home.
Reward points and go back home.
And then the next day,
go back home.
And then the next day, just get on a treadmill. Yeah. Boom. You've made it better than you did yesterday.
That's right.
You're taking you're striving every day to make your best better every day, which is something my dad instilled in me for my entire life.
I like that. That's good, man.
So,
That's good. Well, I'm thankful you're still around doing this. This is we're up into the 20s now on episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what number this is, but it's super cool. We started this February 13th of this year.
It's my birthday. Now we're on your birthday.
Now we're on mine. It's August 16th today. It's been one hell of a ride so far. We're only 6 months in.
That's right.
Can you believe
My
that?
world has been rocked, and I think there's some new exciting horizons in the near future.
There's so much good stuff coming. And we appreciate everybody listening and following along. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
What is that?